Hey coaches, welcome back to our three method series. This week we're looking at denial on the perimeter. If we want to be a good pressure man-to-man defense, then denials are a key component of it. We are trying to take the basketball, keep it on the side of the court, and really prevent it from swinging from one side to the other. And the way in which we do this is through denial. Now, in this week's episode, we're gonna talk about three different concepts here. A one-on-one with a passer drill, more of a drill that you could sort of do if you have multiple coaches at practice. We're going to give us a one-on-one rapid fire option. This is something I like to do if it's just me at practice one night. And then, of course, a little game that we're just going to call 5 passes or a bucket, where we're playing 5-on-5 denial defense, adding some restraints to it, and then, of course, getting a winner in the end. This week, instead of some bonus content, what I did is I put together some old video clips. Went back to my 2016-17 season and got some nice denial clips and a number of different locations on the floor. And I put that video on my YouTube channel. You guys can check that out below. Go right to the defense section, and you'll see a playlist called Man-to-Man Defense. Check it out. All right, let's get into some teaching points here. Now, from a teaching point perspective here, I got kind of 4 points that I wanted to make here. I think the teaching points for denial are fairly simple and to be honest, sort of unchanging depending on where you are on the floor. Right? Number 1, we want to keep our inside hand and inside foot up in the passing lane. If we are on the left wing and the ball's at the point, then it's our right hand, right foot that's up in that passing lane. If we are on the other wing, then obviously we flip it, and it's our left hand, left foot that's up in that lane. Regardless of whether we're in like the high post, whether we're in the low post realistically, or even on the perimeter, like we're denying with that inside hand, inside foot. We want to maintain vision of the man and the ball. I mean, obviously this is important in our help defense, and it's important in anticipating where these denial passes are going to have to come from. We don't want to get so far out in front that we're giving up backdoor plays. So man and ball, obviously important. We need to challenge all swings. Any pass that is going wing to point to wing must be challenged. Any type of penetrating passes, backdoor cuts, post entries, high post flashes, they have got to be denied in this style of defense. And, I also threw a backdoor cut teaching point in here, snapping our head, right? If we are in denial, vision straight ahead, and our man cuts back door, we've got to snap that head around, flip our hand for denial back the other way. I think that's another key component in being able to deny on the perimeter. All right, let's jump into our first concept here. We got one-on-one with a passer. This is a drill I would do if I had another coach, at least one other coach on the other end of the floor. Split our team up. Let's go 3 groups of 2 at each hoop. So we're just getting a ton of reps working on this here. What I would typically do is put a guy on O, put a guy on D, and they have a simple objective. Their objective is to get the basketball on offense. They're going to try to V-cut, flash up, make a backdoor cut, but their job is to get the basketball. The denial job, obviously, is to do just that, deny. They're going to deny easy catches up to the top. They're going to try to snap their head and deny that backdoor cut. If by some chance we're able to complete the pass, we're playing one-on-one, right? To make sure that guys aren't taking forever, I like the idea of like a 3-dribble limit, right? One-on-one, 3-dribble limit. Let them play it quick and easy and move on to our next person. One last thought on rotations, of course, would be, all right, let's bring this first pair up there. One's on O, one's on D. Once we rotate back to them, they flip, right? So now you got a new guy on D, new guy on O, and we're working our teaching points that we talked about in the previous slide here. Now, I do think you can notice this top diagram. I put this like sort of can't use. When I do one-on-one with a passer, I do try to keep it to one side of the floor. I mean, certainly you can open this up to the whole floor, but I like the idea of like building wing denial early in the process. So keeping them on one side, I think that's typically the way I restrict this in my practices. All right, so let's talk about an option if we only have yourself, right? I mean, there are plenty of nights where it's just me, and let's say we got 12 guys. let's keep them at one hoop where we can kind of like coach them properly, in one system. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two lines, right? Everyone's paired up still. We're going to have two lines on the baseline, and we'll do it like this. The first guy that goes throws the ball out to me, and he's going to flash out to try to get a touch on the perimeter. Obviously, the defensive person who's locked in a stance is flashing up and is trying to deny. Now, clearly, right, the offense, if they don't get it, they got to go back door, that kind of idea. We're playing this the same way as our other drill, right? If they catch it, it's one-on-one, 3-dribble limit, right? If we can get a deflection, like we're just praising that deflection to no end, right? Let's be loud, praise that up, clap that up. Like we want to hunt the deflections in this as an opportunity. Now, like as soon as that other possession is over, our second player's going, right? He's throwing the ball out to me. The next guy's running out and denying, and we're playing that out just like that. All right, now, obviously, we're going to try to go back and forth, get as many reps as we can. What I usually would progress to is like something like a 2-on-2, right? Maybe after a couple reps, we say, all right, one ball, two lines, and let's have one guy throw it out. We play the same drill 2-on-2, right? The only thing they can't do is screen for each other. That way we're still working our denials and back cuts and whatnot. So I like this as a drill. If you're stuck at practice by yourself, you got 12 guys working on denial, I think this is a great one to do that with. All right, let's jump to number 3 here, right? This is a drill I kind of adjusted. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of people who do this same drill here, but we're going to create 2 teams, right? And we're going to play 5-on-5. And the goal here would be to really work our denials here, right? Obviously back doors embedded into this, all that kind of stuff. Now, we're going to play a 7-game series, right? And the way you win a game is you get 3 quote-unquote wins, right? Boom, you get to 3 wins, you win game 1. Next, we go to game 2. Whoever gets 3 wins, boom, you win game 2, right? We're going to play this to a 7-game series. Now, the way that you get wins, I think, is important. I'm going to try to move my screen here for a sec. The way you get wins for the offense is if you complete 5 passes, right? Now, every time you touch it, you have 1 dribble that you can make. That's it. Usually, you got to use it as like an escape dribble or to set up your pass. You cannot take a dribble to score, right? You can only take a dribble to then pass the basketball, okay? If we get 5 passes completed, we get a win. If we score, we get a win, okay? On the defensive end, we're going to try to focus on denials. We get a deflection, boom, that's a win. We get a steal, it's a win. If we get a stop, it's a win, right? If we force a turnover, that's a win, right? First team to win that 7-game series, we'll let them get a drink. The other group, give them a little sprint or something before they get a drink, that kind of deal, all right? 5-on-5, 5 passes or a bucket. I like that idea to kind of get us going 5-on-5, working our wing denial techniques here. All right, now what I did on the end of this is kind of created what I just labeled a denial order of importance. I kind of thought to myself, like, where denials happen most often in the games. And, if we were watching I watched over 500 clips to kind of prepare this video series I'm working on. And I really think we start with wing denial, right? Most offenses want to make that entry pass to the wing. If we can be disruptive in our wing denial, I think that is what is going to happen more often than anything else, any other form of denial here. Now, obviously, we're talking swings. So if that ball's on the wing, and eventually teams want to get it to the other side. So we've got to deny that pass to the point, whether it's like a slot-to-slot pass, whether it's a wing-to-point pass. Wing denial, point denial are clearly going to be like our 2 biggest chunks of denial defense. Backdoor is next. I mean, clearly, good teams are going to try to get you on the back door, but we want to get it so that we don't get beat on backdoor twice, right? Maybe we give it up once. We're really going to force them to make those tight window, bounce pass, backdoor passes. But we need to make sure that we can defend those, get deflections, and create turnovers when they do make those backdoor cuts. And then I put, a sort of conglomerate of things in 4, right? High post entries, low post entries, horns entries. I mean, those are going to be things that we want to disrupt as well. Whether it's a a set play or whether it's an action in their normal motion, those are going to be things we should work on too. Those look a little different, of course. There's more body contact, right? There's more sort of like hands on bodies contact, but denial is just as important there. Make them catch it off their spot. Make them be more extended than they want to be. Make their passes longer than they want, right? Denial can get us that, and I think that would be my fourth category. All right, let's get to the wrap up here. I mean, I've got a ton of this stuff, these 3 method series out right now. Take a look down the playlist here. We've got at least like 7 or 8 different videos that we can add up here on the defensive side of the ball. You guys can find out my blog post that I've created to go with every one of these videos at CoachLynchBasketball.com. If you could go like the video, subscribe to the channel, certainly that would help get our videos out there a little bit more. Next week, we're going to be back with the last few elements of defense, kind of looking at ball screen, looking at dribble handoffs, way to defend team concepts. That's kind of where we're going to end our defensive series here. So I'll see you guys next week.